Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for the 18th of March, and starting with the S&P 500 here just on the hourly chart. But today I also want to have a look at the bigger picture as well. I want to have a look at the bigger picture for the S&P, the Nasdaq, and base that off the Russell, which we have looked at before, but it's time that we looked at it again because we're coming to the end of this particular trend here from wave 4 to wave 5 here. But just to finish this off here, we've been counting this up here as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here for 3 and 4 and 5, and we'll see we're at the 4,000. So we're going to see the 4,000 act as a bit of a magnet. So there'll be a lot of buying and selling, a lot of psychology happening here. Volume is psychology, the end of it, the result of it, I guess. But yes, wave 3, 4 and 5 here. Will it push up to 4-1? Well, that's something that we need to see, because this has been arcing over quite lazily over here, but we are seeing Amazon and a few other stocks move to the upside. So I'll kind of leave that there, but for the bigger picture in this, not the bigger picture, this same picture here, we've been tracking this up from here as wave 3, 4 here, and then 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 here, and then going up for that that fifth wave up here, you know. But today I want to have a look at bigger picture, and the reason why I want to have a look at the bigger picture for is because when we look at stocks like Amazon here, you know, these guys, this first move here is a corrective pattern. It's in 3 waves. So no matter what happens here, if I've got this right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. The point here is that at some point this is a correction. So some point we need to take this top out here. So we'll be looking for 5 waves up there. Is it that we go up here as 5 waves, or do we have another move down here as a 4th and then move up? I think we're pretty much on track the way we are at the moment, but I'll be mindful of any turn of events here for this. We'll take a closer look at Amazon with the other stocks in a moment, but what I'm trying to say here is that we've got to make new highs up here somewhere. So that's going to be a lot of time, isn't it? You know, to get 5 waves to go up here, that's a lot of time. So what does that mean for the Nasdaq and what's the name? You know, it's not the only stock as well. You know, Tesla's there as well. Facebook is there. Apple is there. So we've got that bigger move to the upside. So one of the things that I was looking at, and we looked at before, let me just squeeze this in here, was the Russell. Now, we know that the Russell's chuffed along okay through here, but the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, they really boomed along this part here, didn't they? In their wave ones, they covered a lot of ground. I mean, to the upside. They led to the upside, and once they'd led to the upside, then these stocks here, they caught on and really pushed on here, because while this was pushing up through here really strong, the Nasdaq and the S&P were a bit lazy on that in that run. So these guys had the run. They took the lead. They took the baton, and they ran off here. And when I look at this, you know, trend channel here for this market, we're taking out the top of the trend channel here, and that's very typical of a third wave here. So this really counts quite nicely as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 going up here. So even though, I mean, this wave 3 here is a nice looking wave 3, there's no doubt about that. Now, when we look at the S&P, if we label this the same as label the S&P and the Nasdaq the same as this, what we would see is a big first wave and a smaller third wave. Now that's okay to have a smaller third wave than the first wave. You can have the extension in the first wave. All it would do is it would make the 5th wave for the S&P 500 smaller. So let's just have a quick look at that. So this is how the S&P would go. So you know, the S&P and the Nasdaq had a big first wave here where the Russell was just normal, you know, tagging along. But the Russell really pushed out through here, and we haven't really pushed out as a really strong. We've pushed out nicely here, but not as strong as the Russell. So it may leave this third wave here shorter than the first wave here. But that's not a problem, because that means that the fifth wave here will be smaller than the third wave. That's all that's how that will compensate for itself. You know, and the other thing here too is that, you know, we'll be looking for a classic trading levels pattern at the 4,000 here. So it will look a bit like this. We'll have the arrival, which we're getting now. We'll have some sort of reaction, the first high above the level, and then the correction. So in a way, all we really need to do is you know, look for support on the 4,000 at some point in time here for this. So we'll see the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level here somewhere, and we'll need to readjust this count here. And I want to talk about that as well. I want to compare that to the Nasdaq count as well. And then we'll have an ABC here for wave 4, and then push up for wave 5 here. So a couple of things I want to talk about. First of all is that this little move up through here, I've been counting this here, and I've got 5 waves moving up into this space about here. So I may have to readjust that count so it can give us a little bit and take us a little bit higher here, because you can see that this move here is coming up to, you know, will breach the old highs here for this one. But where I compare that with the Nasdaq, we're not up here just yet. You know, so with this one here, we'll need to look at this as 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here, something like this here, taking us up higher here for the Nasdaq. So that means, just coming back over here for a moment, that means that could take us a bit higher than I'm expecting. Do you know? Maybe not as much, and it can be slow and sluggish and all the rest of it, but I'm going to have to create a second count for what I've got here. So if I can just go back here for a moment, I think we're in the hourly chart was probably the better shot here. So this move here that I've got going up from wave 4 here, going up to wave 5 here, this move here, I may have to, we'll keep tracking this one, but maybe the next video I'll introduce another count, or we'll just monitor it to see how far it takes us. Because normally when you're at the level here, like say in this case the 4,000, what we normally look for would be the market to at least stay within group 1. So this would be minor group 1, 1, 2, 3 here. So we could take this like much higher in this space here, because we've got to give time for the Nasdaq to play out with all of this. So I will need to readjust all of this here. So just be prepared for that. But I still think that we've got long trades on here. So that means that we'll take a percentage of it here. And if you want to leave some skin in the game, you're going to have to leave a wide stop for that to play out here. So what we can do with that is we'll just bring the stop down under the 3.9 for the time being here. That's if you want to get up here further. Okay, so I'll play that game. Everybody always does their own thing with all of this. So many different results from the same market because of the money management. So just bringing the Nasdaq across now. If I look at the Nasdaq in the same light as well as what we've done with the that's another market, we don't need that one. Then in this case here, from this wave 4 here, looking at all of this is an extended wave 1 here and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we still need to make that 5th wave up there to get to the 3rd wave and the 4th wave and then the 5th wave here. Anyway, just food for thought. I just thought it's time to to look at another picture that can take us higher. And as always, we don't know what the truth is as such, but we just need to gather evidence along the way. That's all we need to do. But our first thing, as I've mentioned before, is that this move here is actually lagging the S&P, where the S&P is taking this top out through here, and the Russell's also taken the top out through there as well. So when we look at the Russell here, from its wave 4 here going up to wave 5 here, it's taken the top out here. I could count this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, but that wouldn't, the other guys haven't finished at that point. So this will have to make this wave 1 here, coming back for wave 2, going up for wave 3, 4 and 5 here to finish this off here, something like that, do you know? So, but at the same time, we need to gather evidence of a move like that. So I need these little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish here, and then we need to see the move, this pullback here, as a corrective wave. So we need to focus on that. So we will be focusing on that. Definitely next week we'll be focusing on that. It's Thursday today, Friday, Monday, and so on. So I'll keeping an eye on that, and I'll show you that as well. And we'll bring that into the fold. We need to bring them all into. We need to bring the 3 of these into the fold, especially the Russell, because it has been leading to the upside. So yeah, so we need to make adjustments. So I'm just preparing you for those adjustments there. So with the Nasdaq here, we need to just continue to track that to the upside, and I think it will catch up, because when we look at the stocks, you'll see that the stocks are just starting to break out and move to the upside now. So even though this is lagging, we should see some move to the upside for this now. Yeah, so yeah, okay, so for that, I'll just got to bring the stocks across now. So this is, well, Amazon, of course, and we've been working things off the low here for this. The only change I've made now is I've moved the stop up under this low here, and I've done that because it's broken out through the top there. So we'll have a look at the tick chart. I just use the daily chart and just go straight to the tick chart rather than go through the 4-hour and hourly and all those sort of things, because if I'm going to include these in the indices video, which I think is a good idea, then I need to make them brief, so what I've changed here is from the low here, I'm looking at this as wave 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 for wave 1 here, with an A and a B and a C for wave 2. I've moved the stop up from under the 3,000 to above the 3,000 because we've taken out these highs here, and if that's the case, we're looking for 1 and 2 and 3 up here, and 4 and 5. So this trade is starting to go okay. We've got our first position here, basically the costs covered on that first position, but we're still exposed on this position as well. But the idea with this is that if this is the beginning of the trend, this is really where you want to get in, isn't it? So we need to space things out a little bit and be a little bit conservative. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for a classic trading levels pattern sitting on the 3,200 and then also the 3,300 here as well for this. So that means that we'll be looking for, the first high above the level and a pullback. So if we push this up here, something like this here, I'm probably dramatizing it a bit larger than it needs to be, but we want it as support. So when that becomes support, then we can move into that position. So we need to push that over there for that. Yeah, so we just want to, that's the normal thing, if we're going between large numbers, 3,000 and 4,000, what we want to do, and the trend is starting at the beginning here and ending up here somewhere, then the idea is to build in at the beginning of the trend and then let it go. Yes, we can build in on the 5, but then normally we start scaling out on the 8 and the bigger numbers up here. So the beginning, the middle and the end as such. Anyway, that's the normal play of things, well, the way I treat it anyway, which is not not here nor there. The most important thing in trading is to find your own way and create your own rules, and you only create your own rules from wins and losses. If you're smart enough to learn from them and make changes within yourself within that space. Tesla. Okay, we've got a few things to talk about here with Tesla. So I've been looking down here as 5 waves and then looking at this as an ABC pattern to this point here, and then would move down from this point. Now, there's a couple of other stocks like this as well. So I need to work through those, but it's been pointed out to me by Adrian that this can also be counted as 3 waves down. So I'll just go to the 100 ticks where I've been counting it. Let me just get this in. So I've been counting it down like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1, and back for 2 here. And then I've counted all this down for 3 here. So I've counted down as green wave 1 and green wave 2 here, green wave 3, 4, and 5 here for 3 and 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down through here. But when I go to the 20 tick chart here, and I probably need to bring in some more volume at this point, this is Adrian's count. So he's got this down here as wave A here and wave B here. And then he's got, which I think is quite clever, and I think it's probably right. So from wave B here, he's got the green wave 1 here and green wave 2 here, green wave 3 here and 4 here, and then down for wave 5 here. So I've pulled this apart and it fits quite nicely here. This is the main sort of guts of it all here. Now I don't know if Adrian counted it exactly like this here. Whoops, daisy. Well, that didn't work out very well, did it? But I'm just showing you this so other folks can have a crack at it. So I've got wave 1 here, and this is not how Adrian had it, but I mean, I don't know how Adrian had it, but Adrian just had wave 1 and 2 here, I think. So 1 and 2 here, all the way down for 1 and 2, and down for 3 here, and A, B, C for 4 here, down for 5 for 3 and 4, and 5 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2, and heading down that way. So I just thought I would show you that, and come back to the daily chart here for a moment. Oh, good. So probably have to relabel this. So what we're going to do is just going to put, I'm going to grab this one. Not really going to grab that one. There we go. So we're just going to put that there, and we'll look at this a little bit closer in this regard. I mean, the point here is, do we trade long here based on this? Because this would be a nice setup at this point here. Let me just go back, sorry about this, but let me just go back again to the 100 ticks. Now that I've chucked a spanner in the works. Need more data. So from the low here, one of the things that we don't have so far, and it's not to say that Adrian's wrong or right, or I'm wrong or right at this stage, it's just, it's great when there's, and I appreciate ideas into the hat, guys. It helps us all. So I've counted this from the low here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here for the B wave, and then an A wave and a B wave here. We were counting this yesterday, and then we're up there somewhat up here, so slowly coming down here, won't we? But that finished off nicely down here for that C wave, and then I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. So in my count, we're going to be going wave 3, 4 and 5 here and finishing there and then moving down. But the thing is that this can also work for Adrian's count as well here. So what are we looking for here? So with Adrian's count, we can look at this as, I'll just make this as wave 1 here. I mean, there will come a time when I'll be proven wrong or right, not that it matters, but what we've got to kind of think about is that we've got to, and this would be wave 4 here, because it makes a nice wave 4 and it has an overlap wave 1, and then we'll go up for wave 5 here. So what we could do, I guess, is that in both cases, we would see, I would see the C wave here, and then I'd see a correction here. And in Adrian's count, he would also see this as 5 waves up, but he would see it as wave 5 up here. So in both cases, we're going to see a turn in the market here, right? So we're going to see, in Adrian's case, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, then we're going to see an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave come back, well, to the 50, 60%, but it won't come back there. It will just come back to the medium level here, 650, and then move up from that point. So we don't have to do anything just yet. We've still got time. So what we'll do is we'll put, that will be the B wave at that time. So we can go long at that point, because these 5 waves up here for Adrian, we'll copy that, we'll make that wave 1 at that point. I know this is, I may have lost you a little bit here, but I'm not that good at explaining things. I wander off a little bit. But that B wave there, that's the one that we would want. That one there. We could probably get a better position, but I'm just giving you the skeleton of it at this time. So we won't go long just here, because in one way or another, we've got to face this over here. And we'll either face this 1 and 2 here, or we're going to face the C wave here. And in that case, this would be down for 1, back for 2 here. So that doesn't really matter, you know. That's what that's going to be, either the B wave or 2, but we can just go long from that point. Alrighty, that was a bit long-winded, but that's okay, that's good. And Facebook. So my primary count is a triangle here with an A, B, C, D, and E here, a bit rough and ready, I know that. But if that's correct, we should be taking out that high over here. So we'll be heading much higher with this. What we just need to be mindful of at this point is that this D and E wave that I mentioned yesterday, which would be an A, B, C here, and then an A, B, C here for the D wave here, and then down for the E wave here. So that's all possible as well. So we go up here as an A, B, C here for the D wave, and then we've got an E wave here for this, and then we go up from that point. So that's where that sits. Square. We've got a trade in this, so we need to talk about this. So one of the main things here is that I noted that we had an A and a B and a C wave down here. This box, the 250, the medium level, is the 61.8%. So if it's going to fail, that's where it's going to fail from at that point. But otherwise, if it can find support on the 250, then we can consider that we're going to be looking at 5 waves to the upside, and we'll be taking out this top here for this. And then I'll go back and readjust the whole count, but I haven't had time to do that just yet, and it's not necessary at this particular point in time. Well, it is in a way, because this here is a corrective pattern. Now, we either go straight up from here, or we look at all of this down here as the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave back down here for this. So we just need to give that a little bit of time, but I have to say it does look rather impulsive, as we noted yesterday with this. So wave B up here, coming down for wave C, we got all of that. Then we had wave 1 here, wave 2 here, so we went long here. We've been moving our stop up here, that's all good. We hit the 250 where we're going to take some profit off the table. We're leaving our stop out of the way to see how this pans out. I'm unsure about this wave count here. I haven't had time to ponder it. There's a few issues with it. But if you're trading that, have a crack at it, see if you can solve it, and let me know. But otherwise, all I was waiting for here was the classic trading levels pattern. So we've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here for this, and then going up again. So in that case, we can go long through these doing things like this here, but we'll be able to get a bit more professional than doing kindergarten lines. So yeah, that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the medium level here to become the support. And that process is the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then the corrective pattern. Then we can take that high out, and that will be the safe trade at that point. Okay, so my problem with the situation is that with Tesla, we had the 5 waves down, and then I was okay with that, but Adrian's chucked a spanner in the works. So but I'm still left with this situation. I mean, will Apple do this, with this 5 waves down here, and then an A, B, C here, and then 5 down again? But if Tesla's not going to do it, then probably Apple's not going to do it as well. I'd always looked at this too as an A wave down here, and then an A and a B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here for this as a B wave, and down for a C wave here, almost like an expanded flat, but a running flat correction. That wave 4 would come over to here. Either that's the case, or this move down here, we've got this counted wrong. So I will focus on this over the weekend, if I remember. But if not, can somebody please count this in detail as well, just to see if we're moving to the upside on this. So I'll just go to the tick chart here. So we've got our low in here. So this can be counted a few different ways. So this is where we're up to at the moment. The main point here for me is that, yes, I can see it be counted differently, but we had a long trade here. We had the stop down here. We moved the stop to here. We moved the stop to break even, and now we've just got it in profit a little bit here for this. So we'll be taking part percentage up here for this. But then also what we'll do, if this is bullish, then we're also going to be looking at a classic trading pattern here as well. And the 130 here, the price, it's not that the 130 is important, it's the number 3 here that's important, because that makes it the top of group 1, minor group 1. And this is where we'll be going long again through here for that. Okay, so we'll take some money off the table just in case the B wave is correct, because otherwise we'll be going all the way down here, and that's not going to be very nice, having worked so hard for a measly little profit here, and then lose it and have a loss. I mean, that would sort of piss anybody off. Yeah, this is what we're doing. Okay, so we'll leave that, and we need to check that whole trend over yonder, over here, down, double check on that. And with Alphabet, Google here, I can see that it wants to push up here. It's going through a building process, an accumulation stage. We've got a position here. We've taken a percentage here. We've kept a really tight stop on it here. So we've got the whole thing as a, if we got stopped out here, we would have a profit, put it that way. We've also got this new trade in here that's been triggered in long. We'll also use that stop there for that. And we'll just have our fingers crossed and hope that pushes up through there based on that nice support there. Alrighty, sorry for the long video, but we had a lot to get through. So thanks for your time. Appreciate that. Cheers.